It's True Freeman getting ready to do an oil change on the Buick LaCrosse 3800 Series 2 motor. For this oil change, do-it-yourself video gonna be pretty much on all cars. So, get my shit together, then I'll get back at you. Alrighty, what you need to do is get the car jacked up, hopefully or preferably on jack stands. What I like to do is take the cap off. It allows the oil, once you break loose the nut, the bolt holding the oil in. And on these Buick LaCrosses and some other vehicles, your oil filter is located on the passenger side in front of the axle. See, I'm on the passenger side of the car. It's located in front of the axle, especially if you have a front wheel drive. It'll be located up in it right there, or it will be located down here in the front, okay, under the exhaust area. But what you want to do again, get the car jacked up. I got it on one jack stand. I'm using the jack for the other, but I'm gonna put the other jack stand under there to be safe. But the best way is jack the front end up and turn the wheel to the left, and you'll be able to, once you drain all the oil, you'll be able to get the oil filter off and let that drain. Put the new oil filter on and put the other oil filter on and fill it back up with oil. Alrighty, I'm back. Had a little interruption, so I'm going to get up under here. The first thing you need to do is actually, see if I can prop my camera up. Actually, nah, it ain't gonna work. That's alright. Just give me a second. Actually, get your oil pan, drain pan. Don't have one, buy you one. Set it back up in there. Most of these are half inch, and it's lefty loosey, righty tighty. To the left is to loose, and to the right is to tight. Your oil filter, your drain plug is right here in between the transmission and the motor, especially on these 3800s, which you'll see it, the engine. This is the engine, this is the transmission, okay? And this would be any plug on the bottom of the motor on the engine block is actually going to end up being the drain, but most of them will be right about here. In some of the older cars, they'll be just on the bottom of the oil pan, which this is the oil pan, so it's on the bottom. It's on the back side of the oil pan in the center. Okay, I got a couple pictures I'll put in. But so you want to go to the, again, I just give me a little socket, a wrench, give it a couple ohms, and like I said, this is a half inch. Get your drain pan to where you could drain it, get it loose enough. It'd be a little messy. Have on some gloves, because what you want to do is you are loosening this bolt. If you're loosening this bolt, you're going to want to kind of hold it when it's getting to the end so that it doesn't fall into the oil pan. That's why it's the drain pan down there. So it's best to have some gloves on and press it inward toward this way towards the camera, to the front of the car. As you're turning it, when you see it's out, you want to pull it go ahead and just pull it, get it out the way. You're going to get a little oil on your hands. That's why I suggest you wear some gloves. And you set that all to the side. Make sure your drain pan is in place so that it'll drain. And we'll let that drain and come back at you. Alrighty, as you can see, we got the oil draining. Move this pan a little bit, let it drain good. You want to get as much of that old oil out. And the reason why I suggest doing your own oil changes is because when you take your vehicle to the shop to get an oil change, you don't know what the hell they didn't put in your vehicle. Do a little bit of investigation and you'll find out that a lot of these oil change companies been ripping people off. They haven't been putting true authentic oil in your car. They've been putting used motor oil back in it, recycled, all that dumb shit, right? So, excuse the language, especially for the new channel. This is going on the my original channel, but you guys need to go to the Handyman True Freeman channel, because as soon as I get quite a few of you over there, that's where all the uploads that have to do with do-it-yourself videos will be. See us dripping, it's about done. So what's gonna happen once that's done, dripping good enough, I'll go ahead and put that plug back in there. I'll put that drain plug back in there. I'll tighten it down, okay? Put the drain plug back where it goes. I'll tighten it down, and then I will move the oil pan over here to this area. I'll move the oil pan over here a little bit, so when I take that oil filter off right there, this is the oil filter. When I unscrew that oil filter, there's a little bit of oil gonna come out. It'll go into the pan versus on the ground, okay? So what I'm getting ready to do is I'm gonna get my tripod, set the camera up. I'm getting ready to go ahead and put that drain plug back in there. It doesn't take long either. Oh, one of my wheels screwed off my bed. I call that my bed. My creeper is what they call it. But let me get that drain plug back in there, and then I'll come back at you when I move the pan over and take the oil filter off, put the new oil filter on, fill it back up with oil, and you're good to go. It don't take no time at all, people. You can save yourself a lot of heartache and pain. You know what you're putting in your vehicle. Just go to AutoZone and get the package. Any one of these stores, you know what I mean, $20, $30, you get the oil and filter, okay? And start doing some work. This is real simple. And again, you know what you're putting in your car. You know what's in your car. You understand? This is for those of you who want to learn different things, do-it-yourself projects. And women, if you know how to jack up a car and turn a wrench or socket, this is not that hard at all. If you don't mind getting dirty for a couple seconds, hands getting dirty, this is not hard at all. And we can start keeping some of our money in our own pocket, all right? So I'll be back at you here in a second. Let me get that drain plug in there. And let me get the the drain pan moved over. And we'll get to taking that oil filter off and putting a new one on. Peace. Right. Alright, so we done got the drain plug back in there. And we're getting ready to go at the get that oil filter off and get the new one on. It's not that hard. Again, lefty loosey, righty tighty. Remember to move your drain pan under where the oil filter is, so any oil that's left over out the block that comes out, it'll go into the drain pan instead of on the ground, right? So all right, let's get up under here and let's get that oil filter off. Some people use an oil filter wrench. I use straight human muscle. Now I'm gonna look like an ass on camera if I can't get this oil filter off, because that didn't happen a whole fucking lot of times. Somebody screwed it on there too damn tight. and I couldn't get it off. And you may have to move the oil pan out your way and do a turn or two, or at least get it loose first. Let me see if I can get it from this angle. Remember, lefty loosey, righty tighty. So we want to, and if you got a good pair of gloves with a, you know, some rubber on them, sometimes it's real easy to just grip it and use some human muscle. A lot of people buy they make a wrench to take the oil filter off, but as you can see, I took it out with my hand. I mean, I unscrewed it with my hand. Move the oil pan back under there, and then just turn it a couple times, and whatever leftover oil will come out. Don't worry about the oil that gets on the part of the frame. It's gonna happen anyway. It's gonna happen whether you take it to the shop or not. You can take a damn rag. Excuse me, try not to cuss on these videos. You can take a rag and wipe it off. Just let once you break it loose and oil comes out, just let it come out until it stops dripping. And then when you take the oil filter off, hold it, and then drop it in the oil pan. Not oil pan. Oil drain pan. Just let it drip. It's gonna drip. It should stop here shortly. There's not that much left in the block. And at this point, you can literally, that's why I suggest having on gloves, because it's gonna get oil on the filter. But again, don't be scared to get dirty. I like to take my finger and hold it the bottom a little bit while I turn it. It was turning easy until all this oil. I mean, it is turning easy, but it's slippery. So you just keep screwing it. Once the oil stops dripping, hold it upwards, because this filter is full of oil. And you don't want it to just flop out and turn over and have oil everywhere. So try to just hold it. You may have to just switch hands while turning and holding it with your pinky. Like I'm holding the bottom with my pinky, and then I'm turning it. So as soon as it fall off, my pinky is gonna actually be holding the oil filter, see? And I keep it like that, and just dump it right, put that right in the oil drain pan. Okay, so let me scoop my little cell phone from up under here. Yeah, what it looks like. We'll make sure it's turned up. Get your rag. Wipe your hands off, you know, your gloves off, right? And what we're getting ready to do is put this oil filter back on. So let me get that prepared and come right back. Alright, so what we're getting ready to do is we're getting ready to prepare this oil filter for installation. And what we have here is a STP. I mean, it's whatever your choice is. We have Pennzoil, high mileage, 10W30. Calls for 5W30, but it's weight class, and you can, you know, it depends on what your preference is. So what I like to do, make sure y'all can see it in the camera. What I like to do, a lot of places put them in dry. I don't put them in dry. I'm like nervous of, you know what I mean, the oil not pumping for that short period of time. You know, odds are it's not gonna fuck up the motor, but I just try to do things to where I'm for sure it won't. So what I suggest you do, you don't have to fill it up. I just like to put a little bit in there, and don't worry about that comes out. See, all that I put in there in this filter still ain't full. But what you want to do, so that the rubber doesn't fuse to the housing, is take, when a little bit comes out, put it on your hand, rub it around the filter, okay? Rub it around the rubber where it seals at, and it's ready to go. Make it easy to get off. So what we're going to do now is get over here and install it. So instead of shutting the camera down, I'm just gonna keep on rolling. Let me go get the camera set up over here. Okay. Let me get the camera back in position so you can see. And what you want to do is take a rag first, right? Wipe out a little oil. That when you took that filter off, just got on the frame a little bit. You know, it'll dry off on its own. But I mean, you're right here. It's easy to just take a rag, wipe that little mess off. You understand? Look at your housing right there. Make sure ain't nothing rough or any debris or corrosion. You might as well go ahead and wipe that off. That way you get a good seal between the rubber on the filter and the actual oil pump, pretty much, the housing. So what we're gonna do is put these gloves back on. We're going to get the new filter. And get it installed. Just give me a second. I decided to put a little bit more oil in the filter. That way, as soon as you fire up the motor, it's definitely getting oil right off the top. Okay. So, got my towel handy because remember the gloves are kind of slick. Alright, so what you want to do is get it up there in place. And again, I'll put a little bit too much in it, but I just like to get that oil in there. Make sure I got oil in my filter before I even put it on. I always do that. Alright. Get it on there good enough where it's, you know, because it's slippery right now. Got a little bit of oil on the filter. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my rag, wipe the filter off, turn it some, make sure got all the oil off, and then I'm going to use the rag even to tighten it down. Alright. So, and it doesn't have to be real tight. That rubber, once you confident that the rubber has sealed, there's no torque specifications or nothing like that. And that's pretty good right there. Make sure you wipe off any excess oil. Make sure you wipe off. Alrighty, I didn't charge my battery up, but I had a backup, so I had to go get a battery. But I know y'all seen quite a bit of me putting that filter back on. So once you get it tightened, wipe down all the excess oil that ends up, you know, falling down here on the frame. Wipe it off the filter. Okay. And I would suggest getting a piece of paper and writing in when you start doing your own work or maintenance on your vehicle, and even when somebody else is doing it, get a piece of paper and keep records of what date and time you done something and how many miles is on the car. Like oil changes is every 3 months or 3,000 miles. You're supposed to do an oil change. So just to keep, you know, record of that, and the more you keep your vehicle maintenance on a regular, the longer your vehicle is going to last. So so let's wrap it up. Is pretty much I have to now let me get my camera. I have to now fill it back up with oil, get up under here, make sure I wipe off the bottom of the oil pan where when I drain that oil. So I'm through up under here. And what we're going to do is now refill it with oil, which is where the cap is. Refill it with oil. Check the oil. So I'm gonna go ahead and take that out. Refill it with oil. Let the car down. Check it. Make sure it's topped off, and you're good to go. So let me go ahead and get this set up. No reason for me to show you me pouring the oil, but I'm gonna go ahead and show you. Let me get this set up. Be right back. All right, girl, get this oil in here. Fill it up with oil. Let it sit for a couple minutes. And then check your oil. And you're good to go. And you know you got real, authentic, new oil in this shit. I don't trust these shops and these oil change places. So, take your time. If not, you'll spill a lot of oil everywhere. Get you a good funnel. Or a funnel, period, hell. There's quite a bit of oil that stays in there, so if you can prop it up somehow, or just even hold it for a second until it stops having a continuous flow, you know, you got the majority of the oil out there. Let's hold it up there for a second. I got another video I'm gonna make too right quick, because he has a battery cable that's corroded. So I'm getting ready to show you guys how to clean that.
What on, big black? Got your caddy, huh?
Nah, it's a buddy of mine's, man. Great to do some body work on it. Yeah, he want me to do the body work on it and shit. So. And there you have it. There's your oil change.